Well, hey everybody, welcome to another Not Thursday in New Hampshire. What a beautiful day for a little bit of hike and explore. We are going to check out this section of old rail bed that I have not been on. Another one of my want to connect the disconnected area. And we have a beautiful start with a nice big pond. And we got to make our way a ways and see what is down there out in the woods. So it'll be the usual. As we go along, we will look for the signs of where people did things long ago. I do know that, well, not that side, but this side, where the road goes up that way, that runs parallel to the tracks, there are plenty of walls that come in this way, so there's a good chance we will be walking through, you know, old colonial farms. Should be interesting, hopefully. That's a nice little, we call it an itty bitty build, but still some big chunks of cut granite. Hopefully, I'm not really sure, but maybe way down the ways we'll come across some bridges like this, but maybe larger. Yeah, little itty bitty thing. Now, as I've been walking, I'm seeing a wall running along the side with us. There's actually two walls. Almost like it's a road there, but I know the actual old road is maybe, I don't know, 400 or 500 feet up that way. If I can get in there where it's not wet, we can take a look. Yeah. Wall, but it's the one up top there has been continuously going. The one down below here is a bit broken up. That still could be a chunk of old road. Interesting. So as I walk it, I realize it's 2 rods wide. That's more of a driveway to a farm or whatnot than a road, but it goes right up into the water. I'm assuming that this body of water is partially man-made, so that is interesting. See where that big tree is? That's where the wall is. And it heads right into that. Yeah. Because don't forget where we are in New Hampshire. People were living out here, or settlers were out here 100 years before the railways came in. That's why these walks are interesting. Because when the railroads came through, well, they shifted and changed a lot of things. Like this levee, no doubt. It's man-made for the tracks. But that's the interesting section we want to get to over there. Oh, before we get too far, there's our beautiful Mount Monadnock. Good view of it. Nice. Okay, so I'm a ways down into the woods now. Still on the rail bed, just away from the water. We have wall in there. Let's take a look-see. It's actually the tail end corner. Oh, and then it goes up. I can see it goes off that way. Again, the road runs parallel up there. At this point, it's much further away than when we started, as the tracks veer in the other direction. Definitely some old wall. Tell you, with the conditions lately, I haven't had dry boots in weeks. Alright, so let's take a look up inside this square. See what was going on. Actually, it's not bad, land improvement wise. Yeah, it's actually quite decent up in here. So essentially what we're looking at is old farmland disconnected from the rest of the world, probably between the railroad tracks coming in and the flooding of that pond, because we are really, like I said, the road that's way over there is now way over there, and way over there is still water. And obviously it makes me wonder where the house was. Almost. Alright, back in the tree line again, because see we have wall behind us. Wow, it's wet. This looks interesting in here. Shifted. Yeah, it's just been logged and pushed. Lots of broken wall. Wow, there's just water coming and going from every direction. So I had a thought. That levee we crossed, where the tracks went over, had to be a quarter of a mile, easily. 50 feet wide. Who knows how tall at its peak, maybe 15, 20 feet. That's a lot of earth. And it had to have come from somewhere, probably on this side where we started. I want to find that dig out where they took all that soil from. So I'm going to try to get back out to the tracks. We'll see if we can find where they were pulling resources. Okay, back in the tree line again. And here is my thought process and what I think would be the logic of finding this dig out. The side of the tracks that we were just on is terrible. Not good land. This side, where we walked through, old farmland, very good. So if these were claimed farms by the railroad, they probably would have already have been abandoned. I'm assuming they're going to pull out of the good side, the easy side, and we're just going to basically head through the woods closer to where the levee is. See what happens. I think we're on something. Check this out. Following the old wall into the farm. Not only does it stop, it disappears. And then we have a drop of about 6 feet. And you can see this is all rounded off and dug out. Yep. Well, here it is. One of them at least. This is the pit, or a pit, where they would have pulled a lot of materials out of Look at the wall up there. Interesting. So I probably dug right down into the good clean soil. Yep, same thing. Pit on the other side, and this is probably no more than, it's 6 feet deep. It generally seems to be that way. It must have been the way that they approach digging out materials, because they all look the same no matter where I go. And I've detected in these and found things, because you got to figure they were digging this all out by hand. Lots of guys. Yeah, it just looks like woods, but see the whole right side? It's all embanked, all dug out. Pretty cool. So that's interesting. I just followed a trench out to here, probably a couple 100 feet. Here's a big pit, and I'm standing on the stump of a pine, probably in that 80-year range. So a couple time layers here. We're in the old farmland. They dug this out in probably the 1860s. 80 years later, they came through, logged again, and here it is growing back one more time. Well, that was a cool hike, and I'm glad I did it. Now I know what is out there. And I'll leave you with this thought. So, as I walked about, there was a lot of pits, more than I filmed. And when you think of that being old farmland, and they dug all that soil out of there, especially beside the walls, and dumped it all out here, the odds are pretty good that there are buried relics and possibly even coins in this soil. Wild, right? So, I'm gonna walk back the rest of the way, thinking of the potential stuff buried under my feet, and I'll see you guys all very soon. Enjoy your Not Thursday.